book. I can't believe it's 23 books. Here it is right here. That's it. Medical Secrets That Will Redefine Aging, so the book says. Now, first of all, Suzanne, we've been talking, there's been a breast theme.
Breasts,
yeah, breast has been the topic.
Well, I've been known for my breasts, you know, over the years.
Congratulations, and I'm surprised Jason Ellis let you come in the room without tackling you, but be that as it may. You said that it was some sort of blessing or a good thing that you, not a good thing, but it ended up working to your favor, having had breast cancer.
Well, you know, I mean, it's not anything anybody desires.
Yeah, you don't want it.
But it forced me to say, what have I been doing in my life to play host to this disease? And as a result of that, I changed my life. I decided I would eat as though my life depended upon it. I changed my sleeping habits. I started managing my stress, eliminating toxins. You know, the things that turn off the cancer protective genetic switches, I was turning them back on, so I'd have that protection.
Let's explain that to people, that one of the theories is that we all form little tiny cellular level cancers in our body throughout our life, and that our immune system takes those out when they're healthy.
Right.
But sometimes they get away from us if we're not healthy.
Right.
Or there are too many of them happening because of chemicals in our body.
Right. And one of the doctors I interviewed in this book is Dr. Stanislaw Brzezinski out of Houston, who I think one day he will be the Louis Pasteur of our times. I mean, it's that Schopenhauer quote, you know, first it's ridiculed, then it's violently opposed, and then finally it's accepted as self-evident. He's got a lot of violent opposition. But anyway, I said, how do we not get cancer? And he said, you have to keep your cancer protective genetic switches turned on.
Makes sense.
How do they get turned off? He said, by toxins, by eating food that's sprayed with poison, by not sleeping, by not managing your stress, and by not having balanced hormones, which I thought was very interesting. And innately, that's what I did 11 years ago. I just focused on, I will never get cancer again if I do these things for my body.
Look, I've got more questions for you, but let's go right to some calls at this point.
Okay.
I've got Susan in Texas.
Okay.
Susan, go right ahead.
Hi. This is in reference to your stem cell breast reconstruction that you had done.
Okay, well, we'll explain that in a second, so go ahead.
Okay. Okay, so I lost 50 pounds, and I'm about to lose, I hope, about 50 more.
Good.
And I don't want to have my breasts look like fruit roll-ups, but I'll have the skin for stem cell breast reconstruction. And I'm excited about it because I was looking at the breast reduction and implant before, and then you were on Dr. Oz, and I got so excited, and I thought, wow, this is great. What I'm wondering is, though, is when is it going to be throughout the whole nation?
It's being studied right now, my understanding is, and it may not be long, right?
I think it's a real game changer, and I think that opening this clinical trial, I could have done this in Japan 3 years ago with Dr. Kotaro Yoshimura, and he kept inviting me over there. I said, you know, I want this to be an American achievement with an American doctor on an American woman with an American opening this clinical trial, because right now to utilize stem cells you have to go offshore, and people spend their life savings.
Well, that's a different kind of stem cell. These are adipose stem cells. These are fat stem cells.
Right.
These are not pluripotential stem cells, which are very different. But
you must be a doctor.
But let me ask this.
We use my autologous.
Right, your autologous stem cells from the adipose tissue. But let me ask this, is that my understanding is, and this may or may not be true, is that the certain amount, well, for sure it's the case, a certain amount of the fat that they implant breaks down, and it can calcify and look like cancer and make it difficult to then do screening for cancer in these women. What do we do with that problem?
Yes, I've heard that. I'm not experiencing that.
You didn't have any calcification or breakdown?
No, not at all.
So that we need to perfect the procedure is what we need to do.
Yes, and they are tweaking it. I know at Hollywood Presbyterian here they stopped their study for just, you know, a momentary period of time to start tweaking. There have been 110 women who have done this on the clinical trial that I opened since. And I haven't heard of any negatives. And with Dr. You have to be very careful. If you do lose breast tissue, you need to wait a year to do a second fill.
Yeah.
And
these are all, let's not weigh down the details.
Okay,
We're both saying...
All I know is I have two breasts, no foreign...
It's a good procedure.
It's got
some questions that people are worried about, but it's safe, it's good, and it works, and people are happy with the outcome.
And no scars, no foreign implants.
And I want to talk about hormones. I'm dying to go to that. How much time do I have left in this segment? I want to talk about 4 minutes. Okay, so I want to take some calls. Linda, go right ahead. Linda?
Yes, hello, Dr. Drew.
Hi, Linda. Here with Suzanne Somers. There's Suzanne.
I got to tell you, and Suzanne will agree with me, 60s is the new 40s.
60s is the new 40s. I think you're right. But there's a way to really make it that way. Sort of a way to make it the new 20s. I think we haven't talked about this yet, but I think I know.
If anybody can do it, Suzanne Somers can make us look like 20.
There you go.
I just want to share this. Back in the 70s, I'm getting away from the breast stuff, but you can go back to it.
No, you can take us away from it. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Oh, she's
Back
good.
in the 70s, I had the side ponytail. I was just like Suzanne, and today I go into the hairdresser and I go, I want a Suzanne Somers haircut.
Ah, good for you.
Okay.
Good for you.
Suzanne,
I'm
you have
flattered.
been an
Well,
Sorry, go ahead.
we're going to talk about how this hormone replacement issue. Now it's complicated.
Yes.
And you're talking about bioidentical hormone replacement,
Correct.
right? Now, bioidentical, it's right there in the name, identical. And so there's concern that any kind of hormone replacement in women, particularly women with breast cancer, might lead to more trouble, such as breast cancer. I believe that that's been overstated, those risks. I believe that testosterone has been missed and women need testosterone. Where are you at in this anti-aging process and hormone replacement?
I take a full complement of hormone replacement. I do estrogen,
Feels
progesterone.
pretty good, doesn't it?
Yes, I am loving life. I take estrogen.
It's a good antidepressant, too, by the way, if you had any mood issues.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, if you look at women in particular, but men also, because you lose your hormones too.
Yeah, we do.
If you look at women from middle age on, that's when all the problems start. Isn't it interesting? That's when you decline in hormones. So.
I believe not enough has been made of that. I'm not saying, talk to your doctor, of course, out there, guys, but I'm telling you something. Testosterone, estrogen replacement, if appropriate,
Right.
can really make you feel better and look and feel, can decrease.
It's a game changer in terms of life. I think it saves marriages because we have such a difficult time controlling our moods when our chemicals are about.
And when you know testosterone, there's no sex drive either.
And if your estrogen progesterone dip, it's a symphony. The whole thing gets off. On SuzanneSomers.com, I have put on the blog all the studies so that the 700,000 Danish women, 250,000 women at the Mayo Clinic. There have been a lot of studies.
Bioidentical
Bioidentical.
So people can just choose for themselves.
Right.
Let's take a quick call. Linda, Massachusetts. Linda, go right ahead.
Hi, Dr. Drew. This
Hi,
is
Linda.
Linda.
Gotcha.
And I had a question for Suzanne. I've been watching her for years, and I would love to know what she does and how she gets her skin so absolutely gorgeous.
Fair enough.
Well,
she has the most perfect skin I have ever seen. I know she's been talking about stem cells and breast replacements. I wasn't concerned with that, even though I was almost a candidate, but luckily everything was okay. But I was really concerned with how she keeps herself looking so absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you, Linda.
Thanks,
Linda.
I'm flattered. I try to do this whole aging thing natural.
So you don't do Retin-A?
I do not do Retin-A.
That helps. That's a good thing. Retin-A works.
Yeah, but it's a
just
chemical.
A vitamin A acid.
I know, but for me, I find with bioidentical hormones, I also find sleeping. What I'm a proponent of is so simple that it doesn't seem like it's possible. But I do drink a lot of water. I don't eat any chemicals or drink any chemicals. I do eat a lot of vegetables. I do take my bioidentical hormones. I do have love in my life. I do manage my stress. I think all these things, if you're not stressed, and one of the great things I find about being 65, great things, is that I have a perspective and a wisdom now that, of course, you can't have. It's the one thing young people can't even buy.
You can't, but you said something very fascinating. You put, on your list of things that are anti-aging, love in my life.
Oh,
but
yeah.
people rarely stick that in there, and that's part of that wisdom of perspective, right?
How fortunate, how unbelievably fortunate to wake up every day and be grateful for who you're with. So I think all those things, my face isn't stressed. And also I find at 65 that I finally feel like I deserve the little spot I occupy on the planet, like I have a reason for being here. It takes a long time.
Of course, it's a thigh blaster.
Yeah.
That's why you're here. Let's take one last call.
Well, that's how I got my house.
Stacy, go right ahead. Stacy, last call, real quick.
Dr. Drew and Suzanne,
Okay.
I feel a little cheated. Watching Joyce Monroe the other night, I was watching Dolly Parton play a sweet and saucy Southern grandma choir singer, and she didn't look like a grandma. And she didn't even have so much of a human quality to her face anymore, and she is a loved person in my life. I know that stars, it's a persona that we know, but I felt like I was being cheated of seeing her golden years being able to play the grandma because of plastic surgery.
How old are you?
I am 35.
35. Okay, well, it's a little off topic here. Want to sort of address that?
Well, I'm a grandmother. I have 6 grandchildren, and I think
maybe we're redefining grandma.
Well, I was just going to say that. I think this is what it looks like now. It's different. I mean, whatever Dolly Parton wants to do, that woman has brought so much pleasure and joy to so many people for so many years. It's fine with me.
We cheated Stacy, but we've let Dolly be Dolly.
We let Dolly be Dolly. I think there's just a way to age gracefully and also embrace it and enjoy it. I find that I celebrate my age because I've never felt this good. I don't even think I've ever looked this good, and I don't mean that in an egotistical way. It's just my woman has come, and I like her a lot. I'm more comfortable as the woman than I was as the girl. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate
Thanks.
Suzanne Somers, everybody. The book is called Bombshell, and I think she sold a few books tonight.